63 years after Nigeria gained independence, the country is yet to fully realize the visions of the founding fathers. Anthony Enahoro, one of the foremost nationalists who fought for the country's freedom, moved the motion for Nigeria's independence. The dream of the founding fathers was to secure a free nation devoid of any external influence, which will give its people a better life. But Nigeria has, however, failed to achieve some of the goals of the founding fathers after 63 years. Lack of good governance, bettered by corrupt leaders, has been one of the major problems bedeviling the nation right from its independence in 1960. In 2021, a global index, the Chandler, actually ranked Nigeria as the third worst country in the world. Nigeria was ranked in the 102 position out of 104 countries captured by the CGGI, which classifies countries in terms of government. Interesting, right? Well, when you consider most of the circumstances and the prevailing situation that has bedeviled the nation, people will ask questions: what kind of governance do we have? Apparently, the subsidy removal, which aggravated the nation's inflation rate, has imposed unfavorable living conditions on most Nigerians. In the next 3 days, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress may be shutting down the economy in protest of the inability of the federal government to put up measures that would mitigate the negative impact of subsidy removal. Prices of staple food items have gotten so high, essential commodities in the market have tripled following the high cost of fuel. Several citizens have lost their sources of income due to the unpleasant development as both intra- and interstate transportation fare jumped beyond the affordability of common Nigerians. Now, aside from the price of food, aside from transportation fares and the removal of fuel subsidies, apparently every other sector of the Nigerian economy has been affected, which includes house rent, school fees, drugs, and even hospital bills. The country's security situation over the years continues to deteriorate despite the efforts of the past and present leaders. This is a political spotlight right here on VOP TV, simulcast on VOP 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Light up your family times with delicious juicy toppings. Remember that true happiness comes at special moments, and sometimes you don't wait for it, you simply ask for it. Ask for Romeo's Pizza. It comes in different toppings with delicious fillings you can resist. Have a pizza-fun meal with Romeo's Pizza. Every bite is nice. Every slice brings a smile that helps you come alive. Romeo, the pizza champion.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP This Morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome back. This is a political spotlight right here on VOP TV, simulcast on VOP 90.3 FM. We're currently streaming live on YouTube. Kindly go to our YouTube channel, click on Voice of the People TV, that is at VOP TV Live, and of course on VOP 90.3 FM. Click on the button and be part of the conversation this evening. All right, I already introduced my name to you earlier while I introduced the program. Today is Independence Day. Nigeria is celebrating her birthday and she is 63 years of age. And the question is Nigeria truly independent? Are we economically, psychologically, and mentally free? Are Nigerians experiencing what it is to be celebrating 63 years? Our viable sectors actually celebrating 63 years of economic freedom, correct leadership, and all the viable sectors working for the benefit of Nigerians? That is a question we are asking. The NLC and the TUC, which is the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, will be commencing on a strike on the 3rd of October in 2 days' time. Nigerians are yet to survive on a daily basis. Insecurity is something that is unmatched. We still have situation with our country's leadership. All the viable sectors have one problem or the other. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over the leadership on May 29. And since then, Nigeria has been trying to come to terms with the policies his administration promised would be implemented to help Nigerians survive, considering what it went through during his predecessor's tenure. Now the question is, with this age-long crisis, these age-long challenges, and poor leadership, economic inequality, dilapidated education, amongst other things that have hitherto crippled the Nigerian economy, are we indeed free? The hardship faced by millions of Nigerians skyrocketed on May 29 when President Bola Tinubu removed fuel subsidy. Now, the subsidy removal, which aggravated the country's inflation rate, has imposed unfavorable living conditions on most Nigerians. Now, if the NLC is to shut down the economy in the next 3 days, how will the common man feed? How will the common man take care of whatever it is that is personal to him? These and more are the questions we are asking and, of course, needs to get answers to. All right, I will not be alone talking about this in the studio this evening. I actually have right here in the studio 2 interesting analysts while we look through the challenges and the myriad of problems as Nigeria celebrates her 63 years of independence. Good evening, Barrister Evans Ifeli.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Thank you.
Barrister John Wokedi, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Thank you so much, viewers. I greet you all.
Nigeria is celebrating
Happy independence.
63 years. It's her Independence Day.
Yes.
And the president said that independence would be celebrated low-key. Obviously, he understands that there are serious economic challenges and Nigerians are going through the hardship. So everything will be done low-key. In fact, most people did not even know about the president's live broadcast today. It tells you it was a very solemn event, like we normally used to celebrate Independence Day. Barrister John Wokedi, what's your take on Nigeria 63?
Actually, I know I always want to be very, very fair and very objective. I don't like romancing issues. It has been a downward turn. You know, we're getting from bad to worse. Because I was sharing a view with a friend of mine that's resident in the United States. That just called me this afternoon regarding our independence and other challenges facing the nation. I told that I was growing up, that we looked up to Independence Day and anniversary. It's such a moment that we reflect on the nation with hope, with optimism, with that confidence, with that ambition, with that, that passion for a country you are proud of amongst other community of nations, a country that's gone so big, a giant of Africa indeed, not just by population and by number of cities and everything, by giant of Africa, the country that when they narrate the history of the exploits done by the country, you'll be so proud to answer a Nigerian. You know, even in our university days, we looked up to it. People, celebration everywhere. I remember then, pilots, white people hang around the place I went to school. We look up to that independence group. But unfortunately, that atmosphere is no more here. Even I saw people, all these people on the street selling green, white grain, usually collecting quantities, put in our offices, in our cars there. People hardly patronize them. Because people are not happy. The country is not giving them that kind of promise that it would have been, but based on what we heard from our forefathers, the pioneers of this country, likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello Awolowo, like the person you just mentioned, Nahoro, Michael Wabara, so many Akintola, many of them that actually came together to usher in this independence, Nigeria as an independent country. But unfortunately, the more we grew older, the worse it becomes. And so I'm not, like I said, the president had a low key. He has every reason to have a low key because there's nothing to celebrate. Are we celebrating the increase in pump price of petroleum products? Are we even celebrating the subsidy that they just nicked in After they told us to bear the untold hardship, removal of subsidy cost us, that made us like market, a free market economy will shape everything, and the prices will begin to crash and come down. But now we're not seeing it, and we later discovered that we're even still paying subsidy. People are not asking why putting us from 195 we were buying fuel to almost 600. We're actually paying subsidy. Are we going by dollar rates? That somebody told me in confidence that they sold 1,125 to somebody looking for it. Now nobody even knows their exact price it is now. The people are now ridiculing Nigeria. $1,000 that if somebody made in Canada, in UK, in Europe, in Australia, and whatever, can buy up there 1 point something million. Is that what we should celebrate? Is that the roads? I saw a road in Auchi, I saw the one in Enugu that somebody was making a video where all the cars going to Enugu from Anambra, Enugu Express. I saw the one Anambra on Enugu to Onitsha to Owerri, around a rift that cut down. I saw the one in Eboma, Auchi axis that even governor got stopped. Even my client from South Africa, I don't want to say it, told me he's not going to have anything in his village in Edo. They said, why? He said that his kids cannot go home after his death. Like going home for him, like said, trauma that we should put in his way that they should sell his house in Edo State after his demise. So that is, look at, imagine the mindset that his own land in the home, his building in the home state, hometown should be sold after his death because he suffers trauma to go home just because his father is still alive. And the father will live soon, that his kids have no reason to come down to Nigeria, apart from just one or two few places in Lagos. So is that a country that you... So I think we need to sit up. There's a work to be done, especially within everybody in Nigeria, more especially within our leaders. We should begin to... I thank God for what is going on now. This current dispensation of 2023 election brought out a new brand of Nigerians. It brought out Nigerians that are hardworking, resilient, dogged, in fighting, pushing. It was no longer a situation where politicians will do something and everybody will go back to bed and say he has won, has won. So with that, I think a positive future is possible.
Barrister Evans, I'm going to throw the question to you as well. Is Nigeria truly independent at 63?
Well, at 63, Nigeria is independent on paper. Because at 63, Nigeria could have done better. Okay, when you have a country that is at 63 and is unable to take care of public health care, its economy is not in the right shape, education is comatose, labor is heading for strike, the medical doctors are striking, the whole stratosphere isn't proper. I remember Nigerians fought for this independence. Antonio Nahru had moved the motion for independence in the Constitutional Conference of 1956, 1954, 1956, where he moved that motion. In 1960, Nigeria was granted independence. It became a republic in 1963. In 1966, January 15, there was a military takeover. From the military takeover, we sloped down into our other takeovers and coup d'etat before we arrive at the Fourth Republic where we are. The Fourth Republic, we are 20-something years into it, 24 years unbroken democratic dispensation, which was enough to have cured the deficiencies that the military interregnum introduced into the socio-political landscape of the Nigerian state. But we have not had it well since then. From the time of Obasanjo as a democratically elected president up till now, it has been from one problem to the other. The country have not been properly taken care of. The roads are so bad. If we had election today, politicians would still campaign about light, water, the rudimentary issues are the issues we are discussing in 2023. That is not good enough. The countries that had independence, as at the time we got independence, are countries like Malaysia, India, and some other countries. These countries have gone very far in sustaining development, okay? They have been able to put a lot of things together and they have made it well. But you see, the problem of Nigeria is not just that of leadership. it is very easy and quick for us to lay hold to leadership, whether or not our constitution is, our problem is constitutional or attitudinal. It is largely attitudinal because even the masses, the followers, or the led, have a very serious objective and gap for which they have not filled in. I don't want to sound very pessimistic about the situation. I believe that Nigeria can grow from here, but certain very fundamental issues must be addressed. Okay, and the issues that we address will start from having the right kind of leadership. We don't have the right kind of leadership, even in 2023. The kind of leadership we have is one that is shrouded with too many issues unresolved. Okay, the citizens must be able to, as a matter of necessity, own the country and take over the destiny of this country and project it to the next direction. Except that whenever the opportunity is provided for us democratically through election to do that, certain forces, okay, are introduced into the mix. They range from nepotism, religion, and some other political issues will be injected into the system. The people will be divided, and at the end of the day, the politicians will play a fast one on the people and re-establish and reenact the past, the status quo for us. This has been the way we've been living for the past 24 years. Okay, now we're at a point where this country must be defined. Okay, the reason why people are living in drove is because we have not gotten it right. Okay, and people will keep living until we're able to find a bearing on exactly how we want to coexist as a people. Poverty is at a very high rate because the cost of living is high and the citizens are unempowered, financially unempowered. The input of government in the reduction of poverty is non-existent. Rather, the government have policies upon policies that have impoverished the people repeatedly and have not profiled one solution to the numerous problems it has created. One solution has not been profiled to help the people. The Constitution in section 14.2 says it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people, through which government derive our legitimacy. The security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. Right. Security and welfare is not available.
Okay, I will also come back to that because the next thing I want to say is based on leadership. Now, after 63 years, Nigeria is still known for producing corrupt leaders who have, over the years, allegedly mismanaged the country's resources, which has led to the nation's poor growth. Now, we do know that the preceding administration, unfortunately for some people, unfortunately for some people, we had President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who actually gave us the Renewed Hope mandate. The Renewed Hope Manifesto, basically a replica of late Abiola, on sustaining the economy, helping to strengthen the economy, and possibly make the lives of Nigerians better. On May 29, the president immediately declared that fuel subsidy is gone. Ever since that statement was made, there has been a triple down slope downhill. All the sectors in the Nigerian economy are currently still going through the repercussion of that statement. Now, to crown it up, for the past 3 weeks, the president has been having a situation with his academic record. It has become quite an embarrassing scenario. It's an embarrassing scenario because most political analysts, most top persons in the Nigerian polity are talking about it. If the president wants to gain resonance with Nigerians and his international counterparts, there needs to be an opportunity for trust to be created. Now, you do know NADECO, one of the strong, would I say, organization that fought for democracy and also fought for the country getting its own unionism as well as its opportunity to identify itself. Well, they have asked the president to resign. Let me read that to you. They're asking the president to save the country from further embarrassment. The group, in a statement which was released on September 25, claimed that the controversy surrounding the president's journey at the Chicago State University have put the whole country and 200 million people in the country to shame. Now, we do know that there has been a back and forth between the president and Atiku Abubakar, who is the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Atiku Abubakar has been to the court, especially in CSU, fighting to get the record of the president. Allegations that the record of the president is basically obtained fraudulently. The president appealed to CSU, especially to the court, and said that if his records are released to Atiku, that there will be irreparable damage to his personality. And that begged the question, what exactly is going on? It raised the curiosity of a lot of Nigerians as to why the president will make such a remark. What exactly is the president hiding? And then, of course, a fresh appeal was filed, stating that only the president's certificate can be given to Atiku Abubakar. His academic records, any other information will not be given to Atiku Abubakar. And here again is a ruling by Judge Nancy, who actually said that the president should desist from filing appeals to stop the release of his academic records from Chicago State University. Now, the question I want to ask you, I'll start with you, Barrister Evans Ufeli. The Presidential Election Petition Court took approximately almost 7 months, right? 7 months?
6 months.
6 months to come to a conclusion as to who actually won the election. This particular situation was filed on Monday last week, and by yesterday we got a result. Judge Nancy Maldonado gave her ruling. She ordered the Chicago State University to release Tinubu's academic record to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, who, of course, is hoping to use the document in the Supreme Court of Nigeria, where he is challenging Tinubu's victory in the 2023 election. Today is 63 years. We have a president who is going through this controversy concerning his academic records. It's been a back and forth. I'll ask you a question. Is our judiciary, are they untwisted? Is it obvious that the executive actually has a strong hold on the judiciary? Concerning how Judge Nancy Maldonado was able to come to a conclusion within a week, compared to how the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal came to its conclusion, about a month ago, and they took 6 months to arrive at that.
Well, the two cases aren't the same.
Okay.
One has to do with election petition, wherein cases are filed, and you go on trial. Okay, you go on trial, and during trial, witnesses are called, evidence are tendered. It takes time, days, and all that. So it is a full-blown case, wherein you come by way of petition, and your petition is considered, and not just your part, the adverse party, the PDP side, the LP side, and the other political party that filed the case. Okay, and in all this, they are expected to prove their case by, if you are alleging irregularities, you have to prove polling unit by polling unit, and it takes some days. It was even a breach because of the time. But the case in America, the one filed, is just an application for an order of court. It's not the same. One trial went on. The other, there's no trial. It's just an application to the court to make an order against the school, compelling them to release academic records of the president. So that one can be done within 2-3 days or 1 week. Okay, but the other, the one here where they had to go through trial, it took a longer time. So not like the executive here twist the judiciary, if it's in that light you are talking about. Okay, but that the issue in question is one that are not the same. One, they went through trial, the other was just an application.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Barrister Joe Mugede, when this situation happened, it caused a serious uproar in the camp of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Atiku at the time did not say anything. He kept quiet. He sounded very confident. He said the president should stop embarrassing himself by continuously filing fresh charges to store his academic records from being released. Now, in the past few days, the president hasn't returned to the country ever since he went to the United Nations General Assembly. Although his aides have said he's well and hearty, he's attending to other issues. But a couple of critics have said, could the president actually feel embarrassed with how he's been in the news concerning this academic record and the prevailing conditions and circumstances the Nigerians have been going through? What's your take on that?
Both assertions you made are correct. prevailing economic situation, which is not palatable at all, it's not something that will make any leader proud of being seen around in the country. Because the people that believed in the candidacy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president so much trusted his magic wand, and that he transformed Lagos, he can assemble technocrats and best brains and all that, and can transform any site, any economy and all that. In fact, he was the kind of they trumpeted his achievements more on being an economic wizard, this level of economic wizardry. So it is a surprise and a shock to everybody that his takeoff has been so chaotic economically and has occasioned untold hardship, unquantifiable difficulty to the people. And he has not explained, giving Nigerians hope at a certain time frame or range within which the economic policy, like you just rightly mentioned, subsidy is gone and all these things, when these things will be ameliorated, and a certain projection, Nigerians will begin to see that leadership wizardry in him manifesting in our cup of curry in the market, price of rice, tomato, price of cucumber, and the rest of them yams. And there's no projection. They've not told us that. So what is in that coming to do? And the fault that they told us to be patient, the market forces will determine how it will go. We later discovered that fuel will have been up to 1,000 naira per litre, if not because the subsidy that he told us has gone, he brought it forward. So why would he be proud to be in the country? If it's, and now Labour is threatening fire and brimstone to go to strike. Initially, when Labour initiated that strike, people were like, it was premature, it was too early, why not allow him to do something? People were like, why not? It's like, you're being too fast. It's like, it was like a hand of Esau and skin of a bell. I don't know how Jacob. Maybe opposition parties are probing you to go to strike so as to, frustrate the whole system. Okay. But now nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that because there is a need for a strong message to be sent to the presidency, to the economic team, and to the people outside there that, look, Nigeria is not just entirely a docile nation, but people took us to be. That's on the other, one of the arms of the questions you ask. Okay. So the economic situation in the country is not such a palatable one that any president will be proud of to come back home quickly to parade himself everywhere. And it has no solution in sight. I'm saying it. Okay. If he has a solution in sight, he would have projected, okay, in as much as we're passing through this now, so time frame, I put so things in place that will definitely make things to become easy or rosy for people. So he has no such thing to tell us. And his propaganda machinery, because I know I told you I'm always blunt, I don't romance issues. I'm not, diplomacy is part of what has killed Nigeria, and I'm not going to live with that anymore. The propaganda machinery that he has, they don't even have something to fly now with. They're like fighting them on all fronts. So because if they have something to fly with, like when Buhari was telling us, be patient, be this and that, body language and all that, they used to deceive some people under Buhari's regime for most 80s, he got away with it. You can't use those things again now in Nigeria. Because in his campaign, he told us he would hit the ground running. And somebody said he's now hitting the ground, raining. Then on the second part of the continued Chicago embarrassment, nobody, it is a surprise to everybody in the country why the president was doggedly, putting up a fight that will stop the university from releasing his records. Something he has already told the country he's a first-class student. He was in Dean's list, and he was everywhere. He said in the campaigns and everywhere. So people are now looking at, I don't want to go into campaign period. Yeah, this candidate, they always say he lied. When you tell them which side did he say, said he has one watch, said he has one shoe, but he has two shoes. But yeah, somebody that's put up a lie that is of great magnitude. And now people are now saying, okay, show us this result that you have. You are now rushed to court to file a stay that result should not be forwarded, and also went to court to appeal it. And you know what? That I think part of what that judge said, he said yes, that their record section or registry or whatever there was bombarded with emails from Nigerians and everything, yes, showing their interest.
Yes, she said
that they want to know what's happening. So The thing now aroused the curiosity of the judge. That is where they consider public interest. In Nigeria, my left friend here is also a human rights lawyer. We suffer so much crisis whenever we go to court for public interest litigation.
Okay.
We suffer so much humiliation when we go and file a matter for public interest litigation. The judge will find a way, one way or the other, to make sure even that lawyer that filed that matter is actually humiliated. Sometimes we go ahead to award cost in a matter that we give more powers to the people, give more powers to the citizens, that will broaden the liberty of the people. Because in a democratic system of government or democratic sector, the interest of the people must prevail over the interest of the few. This is a country where we have a situation where the interest of the few in power will override the public interest. But that judge said because of public interest, that result must be released. And also to enable Atiku to use it in a matter that is time frame it has a Supreme Court in Nigeria. And she also went ahead to say that if there is any likelihood of a stay to be filed in her court, that she's likely not going to grant it. So she has, because I don't know, I don't practice law there, but in Nigeria here, based on our own procedures, we must take that stay of execution to the court that actually gave that judgment. So only when that court has refused it, that you now file another stay and appeal. Without filing on that court, cannot file. But the judge has said no. So the whole thing now, Tinubu is so about to be unraveled. And he has actually made things so difficult, so dangerous for himself by things he deposed to his affidavit, saying to cause irreparable damage, cost him a lot of damages and irreparable things or whatever.
So to cause him irreparable harm,
psychologically
affect him, and that his enemies will use the records against him. And
so it now created unnecessary curiosity. And now it's about to be released. So nobody knew the content of that result, what transpired at that Chicago State University that made President to express such that emotional laden trauma over the release of the results. So tomorrow by 12 noon, I don't know how their own system works there, but I know that for them to file a stay at the appellate court there, then gets order for stay and everything. I don't know whether it is once they file a stay, it becomes kind of enforceable like in Nigeria, or the stay must be argued and court to pronounce on it. But basically, whatever it is, 12 noon tomorrow is so close. And again, what worked against Tinubu is that judge, I don't know, but they played Nigerian system. But that judgment was given early in the morning, came to public knowledge early in the morning today. And for today, it's already Sunday. And they don't work on Sundays in that climb too, like in Nigeria. So by the time that tomorrow Tinubu's legal team may start processing another appeal, the time of compliance would have already been there. So CSUs, Chicago State University, there might not be any order again that will be sent to the school because of time frame. As it is on Wednesday, they might have tomorrow and next tomorrow to put everything together, put appeal on that appellate court there, put argument or whatever that will stay it. But now it is by 12. So the way INEC delivered his judgment by 4 p.m., making it impossible for Nigerians to be awake. 4 a.m. Making it impossible for Nigerians to react to that judgment. The way that court also gave ruling on the weekend, almost on weekend, making it impossible for them to do nothing yesterday, do nothing today, and for compliance to be tomorrow by 12 noon.
Barrister Evans Ifeanyi.
So we are waiting to see what the outcome of the compliance.
Let me read out to you what Judge Nancy Maldonado said, because it's quite important that we understand where she's coming from. She said, the court cautions President Tinubu that any request for a stay before this court will be denied, as the court finds any stay impracticable in light of the fast approaching Supreme Court of Nigeria deadlines. President Tinubu's argument and rhetoric as to Mr. Abubakar's likelihood of success at the Supreme Court of Nigeria, or his vigorous disputes with the merits of Mr. Abubakar's underlying claims about the election, do not equate to evidence of the Supreme Court of Nigeria's receptiveness to assistance in this recovery. The discovery sought here relates not only to a prominent public figure, President Tinubu, but is sought as part of an underlying dispute over the Nigerian presidential election, a matter of extreme importance to the Nigerian people. The last time the president filed an appeal asking the court to stay on the release of his records to Atiku Abubakar and his legal team. One of the things that was put by his legal counsel was that, by the way, that wouldn't be tenable at the Supreme Court. That's basically what he said. So that is why I asked you the initial question. Is our judiciary, are they being arm twisted? Whereby the legal team of the president were very certain that this record being brought in by Atiku Abubakar from the school will not be tenable at the Supreme Court.
Well, the record itself would not introduce a fresh argument. Remember, there was a substantive argument on his result in the substantive suit. But they could not prove because at that time, they had not gotten to this stage.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a lingering argument already at the Court of Appeal for which has been constituted into the Supreme Court now. Now, this document is required to concretize what has already been argued, because even in the appeal, they had raised the issue that the court erred in law to have dismissed the issue of President Tinubu's certificate. Okay, so it means it's a fighting issue at the Supreme Court as we speak. Now, you can produce evidence or adduce evidence to substantiate already argued line of thought at the Supreme Court, but you cannot introduce a fresh issue. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, the certificate issue is not a fresh issue. Okay, it's already lingering. So it does not lie in the mouth of the respondent to say the respondent's counsel to say what the Supreme Court will do. It is not their duty. Their duty is to go and look for defense or to go and look for an evidence to counter the evidence under reference.
Now, you do know that this is the president's legal team. For them to have actually put that in their own appeal, it feels that they are coming from a place of certainty that indeed.
No, you see, that's what lawyers will do now. You will persuasively let the court know. You will make an attempt and say, this thing they are bringing was not tendered at the Court of Appeal. Why should it be admitted at the Supreme Court? That argument is a natural argument everyone will make, because on election petition, the Supreme Court does not have original jurisdiction. Okay. It only have appellate jurisdiction, meaning that issues already discussed at the Court of Appeal are the issues that the Supreme Court will look at. But if, assuming but not considering that the certificate issue was never mentioned, was never raised at the Court of Appeal, then it will be easy for you to front that argument. Right. But where it is part and parcel of the substantive case from the petition, and now the petition has moved to the Supreme Court, and you are now saying that, well, even if they have it, remember this legal team said that the Atiku team were on a fishing expedition. Okay. Now they have changed that.
Yes.
They have changed that, and they've discovered that it's not just a fishing expedition, that this expedition is most likely going to cost them something very terrible. Now they are saying that besides, why are we dabbling over all this? The Supreme Court is never going to use it in the first place. Those statements are natural statements. But the Supreme Court will decide. You understand? Okay. The Supreme Court will decide, and the people are watching, and there are precedents. Of course, the appellants have made copious argument with provisions of law as to situations where the Supreme Court should consider an evidence that was already mentioned but could not be produced as at the time the substantive suit was argued. So at the Supreme Court, it will be admissible. It will be admissible. And if the Supreme Court finds merits in that, it means that the president will be in trouble.
Will be disqualified.
Will be disqualified. Is it possible?
When you look at Section 131 and Section 135 of the 1999 Constitution, there's a sense in which where you have such kind of issues, you'll be disqualified because you are under oath. The form where those things are filled, qualifications and the rest of it, which the court never said you should even put a university certificate. But anything you put, you have to defend. anything you put that turns out to be false, you will not just be disqualified, you will be prosecuted for lying under oath. We call perjury under the law, which has three years imprisonment penalty.
Do you think that can hold sway?
It's not what can hold, it's what the law says.
It's a whole swear. Nobody is above the law.
If he is prosecuted, except he is not prosecuted, but it's an offense that he can be prosecuted on.
All right, let me work with you. Now, before the Judge Nasir Maldonado gave this order, Atiku responded to the legal team of President Bola Tinubu. He said that you cannot work in denial. He said, considering the fact that Tinubu is insisting that his record cannot be released and stating that Judge Gilbert erred in his decision to release the documents and his certificate and academic records to Atiku. Atiku insisted that he cannot use the excuse of privacy law to stop the release of his academic records from the school. Now, this has been the back and forth. The question is, why is it difficult for the president to own up? What exactly is his issue? What is impeding him? What exactly does he think Atiku Abubakar and his legal team will find in that academic record? The first time before they went to court, the court asked that the school representatives swear under oath. The president's legal team said no, there was no need to swear under oath, so long as they admit that he attended that institution. The school then eventually said that at the time Tinubu attended, that it was possible that the manual imputation, there could have been errors. Then later at the court, you said you cannot authenticate, neither can you validate this particular document. So, could it be that the school themselves have been compromised?
We cannot, with air of finality, say that the school has been compromised. But you know, they have that privacy law, and he was once the student of the school as alleged. Although we don't know which of the Bola Tinubus that attended that school. Now the school said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended the school. But the issue now is which of the Bola Ahmed Tinubus? Is it the one that was alleged to be a female? Who is she? When was she recruited in the school?
Okay.
What's her age? You know, academic credentials will cover, encompass a wide range of information about you. I think why they were so scared about the release of that result is the academic, credentials will expose your age. You feel it there when you are born, the age you are born.
Yeah.
To expose your origin, you have it there where you place you have from, to expose your gender,
Okay.
whether you're a male or a female, and some other information that might be needed. It's not just your name that will be on that record. That's why at a certain time, the lawyers did a U-turn and began to ask the court to release only the results and not other details.
Only the certificate.
Only the certificate, only the certificate and not other details. Okay. Certificate will only carry the correct or maybe the name, but other details of the individual that actually was admitted in the school will not be contained in that information. Because they know a whole lot of things will be revealed. And that is where Tinubu has his major fear. If he's to bring that certificate, like his media propagandists have already prepared the ground to even tell us it was typographical error. Some say it was manually, captured. As a result of that, there might be human error in the name. It might mistakenly be put as a female name. And Nigerian people will buy in. Those that actually wanted to support him will buy into that. Oh, they just need something that can be brought out in the public, and before you know it, it will be all over the whole place as a defense. But now, the record will go deeper than that to reveal so many information that he has in that school regarding the person of either Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the other female Tinubu, the age, because he also deposed an oath regarding his age. So there may be conflict of age in what's contained in that record with what Tinubu submitted. Some are saying he's above 80 years, some are saying he's below 80 years.
Barrister Joe Mwokedi, sorry to cut you off.
Yes,
we have a situation, a very serious situation at hand.
yes.
Despite how terrible that former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration was, we didn't see that embarrassing scenario about his person. he has always been out. He has always put himself out there.
He
put himself out there.
He made himself to be known.
He made himself beyond making himself
primary school certificate.
Exactly. He brought out what he said he had.
Even the Labour Party they brought out secondary school
Atiku Abubakar too. We're not saying that they do not have porosities in anything that has to do with them. But actually what we are saying is this. The president is someone that is known as a strong political strategist. For him, he is at the pinnacle of his political career. He has worked all this while to ascend to become Nigeria's president. It is something that he has done over the years with the persons that he has helped put in place in strategic positions to make sure that he clinches this. During his campaign, he said, whatever means through which these can be achieved, let's work with it. And he eventually got it. Now, the next thing would be to create an environment where you knowing that your opposition and a couple of Nigerians who did not support you, you would try to garner their trust. Let them believe you. You came up with policies that a lot of people cannot attest to. They're still trying to understand how the policies will work. Now you're saying about 25,000 will be paid to workers for the next 6 months in terms of the Independence Day speech that he gave. We are seeing policies that seem not to, at the moment, work well. And it feels like fully implemented. And it feels like Nigerians are grappling in a cold stone. They don't know what exactly they're doing. So the question now is, don't you think that his integrity at the moment should have been something he would have worked on, so that whatever it is he says, at least partially, it would be believed?
That is the trust every leader must build. If you have been into leadership, whether at school level or whatever level, you must build that trust that people will believe you. You know, I said something close to that when I was saying that if he has given us a projection, that look at within the time frame, next 1 year, next 6 months, that these things will begin to yield great dividends. Things should begin to, move in positive dimension. Mm-hmm. But we're not saying that. And, he initially came up with 8,000 palliative you pay to people, later change to giving 25 billion to each state, later change again to today. Where are those palliatives? Yes. Nobody has actually seen the effect of the so-called palliative he drummed at the time of, introducing removal of fuel subsidy and hiking the price of the petrol pump prices. We have not seen that. He has come up with so many issues, so many. The war he wanted to go, and the jail was almost everywhere. That war he couldn't go. He wanted to go. He gave time frame. He gave ultimatum. So we're now beginning to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as someone that will talk before you begin to think. Now he came up with 25,000 to pay to workers. By the time people will begin to criticize and begin to analyze it, you see him moving away from that again. Okay. So he has been like having this economic somersault. So he didn't stand in a way that built that trust. When he removed fuel subsidy, first and foremost, subsidy is gone, people believe that with time, things will begin to take shape positively. But look at what is going on. Okay, look at even central bank issued, Mefele was removed. Somebody was put there in acting capacity. People thought that maybe with time that one will be confirmed. Mm-hmm. Substantive governor of central bank. He was actually removed again. Another person was brought in as the chairman of head of central CBN governor again, and all that. So you see inconsistency everywhere. Right. So the point is that Tinubu would have built on his integrity if he has one. You're saying that he doesn't have one? Yes.
Why you say he doesn't have one?
Because I've seen something which I 100% agreed with. His place of origin is in doubt. His academic certificate is in doubt. His age is in doubt. His university certificate is being contested in the university where he went to. His family background. He took Tinubu in Lagos.
Gender too.
Gender is in doubt.
The gender, I said it was a mistake by the school.
By and
that's the doubt.
Gender is in doubt. The family he claimed to have come from in Lagos went as far as publishing a book on their family history and family tree to show that he's not part of that family. So his origin is also in doubt. His source of money is in doubt. He has not come up to tell us the business he did or he's doing that made him a multi-billionaire. Companies he has interest companies, we know that Dangote is into cement, Elumelu is into hair holdings and banking, Tony, the other person was Jumovia is in this and that, Bua Cement is in Bua, and other things. So you see all these people with billion, even P2B, you know, it's importation, this salad materials, and next business, chairman of a bank. But tell us what Tinubu has done. He said he worked in Mobile, they followed him up there.
In Deloitte. Yes, and Deloitte actually released a document by saying nobody of that name worked in their company.
So which integrity are you talking about? Tinubu had never had any integrity. Everything about him is in doubt. Okay. So it is foolish for Nigerians. I said it when Tinubu was about to take over. I said, look, people don't actually assess situations critically. I don't see Tinubu coming up with anything fantastic. Don't forget about it. He said he's Assembly's best economic team or whatever. I said, I've been in Lagos for years. I'm older than some people that claim to be from Lagos because I've been here for years. I said, look, I knew when he was governor. I knew what he was able to do. I knew when Fashola was governor. It was even Fashola that came in and began to see Lagos as being that status of a beautiful and fine city. I said, but these people we are talking about, do you know their political history? I don't want to start mentioning them. Some of them are having credit card fraud in US, sitting at one of the chiefs in his government. He has one served jail term in US for fraud, for drugs. And it's part of his major henchmen in government. How so many of them are around him? So do you think that these people will actually give what they don't have? They made their money through crooked means, and now they have access to our common wealth. Just like when you open a barn where you have goods, and then you allow the hungry lions to be around. So just let's keep on pushing around. But I know what Nigerians are doing now, that I'll commend them that they'll keep on doing, is not to relent. In one of my books, I said that time, I was on 2014, I said that one of the greatest undoing of our democracy and leadership is that we exert every energy, every force, every resource, everything during an election. But the moment somebody assumes office, we just run into our cockroach. Only for us to resurface again. I said we should put in that energy. More energy should be put in when somebody is declared a leader.
All right, thank you, Barrister.
That when it's contested
Barrister Evans Ifeanyi, Peter Obi said that if Nigerians will subscribe to rogue leadership, then they must be ready to face the consequences. In regards to this particular conversation we are having, the critics of Atiku Abubakar have precisely asked him to please sheath his sword. Let the president concentrate on steering the economy in the right direction. Let him focus on what will garner investors to come into the country. Let him focus on the policies that he is yet to implement so that things can work. That if he drops this academic record debacle, the president can focus, and then other prominent matters, which is fighting insecurity, reviving the aviation sector, working on the marine sector, looking at areas through which we can discourage a lot of things that are being imported and rather encourage more things, being exported. And in that particular, conversation where his critics said this, it felt like Nigerians are already used to allowing certain anomalies be the order of the day, because that is how things have always been in this part of the world. What's your take on that?
Yeah, you see, the reason you cannot just allow the president to continue in that thread, or what you call concentration, or the lack of it, is that he that takes an ant-infested wood into his home should be ready to battle with the ants when they begin to run a helter-skelter. Okay? The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria did not say you must go to university to be the president of Nigeria. In fact, the minimum requirement the Constitution gave was the ability to read and write in the estimation of INEC. That is the minimum requirement. Then SSC if you have, you don't. For me, I think that every Nigerian who is of age is qualified, because at least people can communicate in English, except for few who could not or who cannot. So if the bar have been brought so low, why go and claim that you went to university that you did not attend, or that you went to university for which there are controversies surrounding a document you obtained from there, and put it there? So you cannot focus. There's nothing like focus here. Focus is when you have done the right thing in the past, then you'll be allowed to focus.
Okay.
But if you have done the wrong things in the past, and then you do not want the consequences of those actions to follow you because of the excuse of focus, focus does not work like that. You know this thing is going to bring problem. Why do it? So right now, the PDP candidates have made it so sure that we are not going to get away with this. Now, I have an issue here because between yesterday today, which is a public holiday,
Okay.
I foresee a situation where the team, the legal team of Tinubu might bring a motion before the court tomorrow morning, even though they said it will be refused in the judgment. The judge said it will be refused. But I don't think the judge's statement on that issue is the last word. In our legal system, if it is refused, we'll go to a higher court and file it.
Okay.
In the American judicial system, I don't know how it is done, but there's a likelihood because of the issue of fair hearing and the issue of hierarchies of court. Because before this thing is released, they may go and file something somewhere to stay.
And let's succeed. Can they have the time to do that, file at the lower courts, have it had tomorrow refused, go to higher court to put up the same?
That is where the issue is. Even if it's filed tomorrow, it may not be heard tomorrow.
Yes, no.
Okay, and then if it's not heard that tomorrow,
it depends on when just mere filing it to act as a stay. Now, I said it.
Okay.
Whether mere filing it to act as a stay. In our jurisdiction here, in most cases, mere filing it to act as a stay.
Okay.
Once there is something on top of a judgment,
All right.
they will not execute.
All
but
right.
in most situations, mere filing will not be a stay.
Just hold that thought.
Barrister,
hold that thought. You can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at VOP TV, Voice of the People TV. And of course, on our social media handles at VOP TV Live. Also, we're doing a simulcast on the radio station. It's Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That is VOP 90.3. Now, the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. The number to call so we can be part of the conversation with you and hear what your contribution will be is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. I would implore you to please be part of the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. It's quite a dicey dynamic, quite a dicey scenario. As you do recall at the moment that today is Independence Day. Tomorrow will be an extension of Independence Day. Are Nigerians truly happy with the current state of things? Are Nigerians looking forward? Do they understand how the future would be? Is the president helping to reassure Nigerians that indeed Nigeria will become at some point mentally and economically free? That is a question I would like us to respond to. Hello and welcome to the Political Spotlight. We do have a call already. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Okay, we can't hear you at the moment. I don't know if it's a technical team that has to do something or it's from your end, but please kindly call back so we can hear what you have to say. I'll come back to you, Barrister Evans Ifeli. Now, apparently, the All Progressives Congress claimed that Frank Shaibu, the media aide to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 general election, was being traumatized by Atiku's serial electoral failure. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening.
We can't hear anything in the studio, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Name and location, please.
My name is Atiku calling from Adao.
All right, please go ahead.
I want to ask, do we still have a
Do we still have a what?
value?
Do we still have value?
Yes, human value.
Human value.
Yes,
Did you say human value or moral value?
yes, value. I want to value ourselves.
Okay.
Do you know you're supposed to invest in human capacity? Hello?
The network is the connection is quite poor. But go ahead. Let's see if it will get strengthened. Go ahead.
I want us to focus on valuing our human capacity.
Okay.
Do you know that some people are finding it difficult this time of the day? And if you go some most especially hospitals, you may know that people don't have hope again. I mean, we value our people. We supposed to invest in woman.
Okay, so please kindly call back because the connection is very poor. It's very, very poor. Please do call back. So I think the question he's trying to ask is that do we still have human value?
Yes.
That as it stands, people are suffering endemically. The health sector is nothing to write home about. You know, basically that's what he's saying. And it's in regards to the whole Independence Day celebration. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello? I can hear you. Hello?
Good evening, everyone there.
All right, good evening. Kindly increase the volume, please, so we can hear it in the studio. Hello?
This is Judiciary from State.
I can't hear you. I think my technical team should increase the volume. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
This is Judiciary from State.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You guys. You are wonderful. May God bless every one of you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Issue of Tinubu, I'm sorry, he has to people fight. It's not easy for him. It's important that the state. Let's not empty the court, but we wish our court would be like the Americas or any other country. Let them apply. It seems from the analysis of the lawyer did here that there is no way, since it is still in contention to their appeal, where everybody is watching. Let them come up with another Maradona style and let's see what will happen. But for now, I'm convinced that something reasonable will come up out of it. So unless they are following the Supreme Court houses, whatever could be, let us see. There are their reasons for doing all this. If I'm not true, let me not say this is pure truth. We are watching.
All right.
And everything will come as you expected.
Okay.
May God bless you.
Thank you. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Boris Evans, you wanted to say something?
Yes, the man talking about moral values as regards our independence. Of course, it's obvious that we're losing it out. We're losing it because once the head is bad, leadership is not constructive. We have not gotten it right at the leadership level. Look at the kind of scandal we're talking about. No reasonable government can flourish under this level of suspicion. Okay, the country cannot move forward. Little wonder they have been having policies on its head, upside down. Some assault policies have been going on all this while. It is because of the confusion.
Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening.
Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Thank you. Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome. What's your name, please, and location?
My name is Victor. I just want to say that the radio, as in your network is bad. We are not hearing anything on the radio.
You can't hear anything. You can't hear anything on the radio at all?
On the yes, on air.
Wow. Okay, we sincerely apologize. But go ahead, I can hear you. Okay, I think he wanted to just make that complaint. I do hope our technical team will fix that. It's quite important when our terrestrial audience cannot get to hear us, or we can't get a feedback. Barrister Evans Ufeli, I was asking a question though before you responded. All right, we do have another call. Hello. Okay, I'm good. Barrister Joe, I'm coming. I just need Barrister Evans to answer something. So apparently, in regards to this particular situation with the president and his academic record, and of course, it's a back and forth, the opposition parties. Now, one of the persons from the All Progressives Congress is claiming that Atiku Abubakar is going through a traumatic experience of consistent failure. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening. What's your name, please, and location?
My name is Ijeoma from Badagry area. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Do you know what I want to complain about?
What do you want to complain about?
I think somebody somewhere is trying to cover your airwave. They are jamming it that I cannot connect you now. They have been trying this over and over again. The more I try to connect, the more the other stations will be covering it up.
Okay, I think it's a transmitter issue. The technical team are already working on it. Thank you so much for actually making that observation.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think he's calling from Badagry, right?
Yes.
You're from Badagry?
Yeah, okay. From Badagry. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. But you can watch us on YouTube. We're streaming live. So if it's difficult for you to hear us terrestrially, I would implore you to actually join us on YouTube. And we're streaming live on YouTube. I think the audio quality is quite okay at Voice of the People TV, at Voice of the People TV, and of course at VOP TV Live. So once you click on there, we're currently live and you can be part of the conversation. Also on our radio, it's Voice of the People 90.3 FM, so you can hear and virtually be part of the conversation. We sincerely do apologize for those of you who cannot hear us terrestrially. The technical team is working on it, so I implore you to please forgive and be patient. Thank you again for calling our attention to that. Frank Shaibu, the APC is claiming that in the wake of Shaibu's statement, which described a series of lies President Bola Tinubu's government told the Nigerian people since his inauguration on May 29. And so you do know that in different engagements, Frank Shaibu had dared the APC-led federal government to publish the landing cost of petrol as well as the pricing template being used by the government to keep the cost of petrol at less than 640 naira per litre, because in the OPEC, the price of petrol has actually increased. Yes. So it's if we are completely deregulated, it's meant to reflect. Yeah. So if we are still at 640 naira per litre, what are you using as a pricing template? It means there's already partial subsidy in play there somewhere. Now, apparently, he's saying that, I want to read out his quote. He said, in his pathological and cynical flippancy, Atiku's aide here, Felix Morka, is referring to Frank Shaibu, delved into matters he clearly does not understand or lacks the constitutive capacity to understand as a result of post-electoral traumatic stress disorder arising from his boss's serial electoral failure.
The first one was that Atiku was suffering from consistent...
Yes, that was a serial failure.
Serial failure. Then the second one now
is going through constitutive capacity to understand as a result of electoral traumatic stress disorder, which is arising from his boss's serial electoral failure.
So the boss has transmitted it to his aide.
Exactly.
You see,
when he mentioned
if there's anybody that is going through post-election trauma now, it's the APC. Yes, because they are the ones that have said that if the document is released, the records are released, that it will cause incalculable damage.
Okay.
And the media and the press and blogs are going to use against his image and all that. And I'd gone to court to ensure that that is stayed. Okay, so why all this buha if the adverse party is the one that have issues? But you are working day and night tirelessly to cover the track of a sitting president. Is that how it's supposed to be? A sitting president should have integrity, should be able to open up the moral box, that he submitted for everyone to look through transparently. whether he had those things he claimed he had. He should open it up. Okay, but he has not done that. Rather, he's going and bringing documents and filing and protecting. And for how long are you going to do that? Okay, so I think the reverse is the case. The statement being made by the APC government is actually supposed to be targeted at them, and not such should not be targeted at the adverse party, because the adverse party they are on appeal. If I am on appeal, my duty and my responsibility is to get sufficient evidence to do my case. Atiku and the PDP have not done anything wrong as far as I'm concerned. If you know law, what lawyers go through to procure evidence, investigations that lawyers will do, risk that lawyers will take to ensure that they're able to get a piece of evidence to make their claim.
So you
know how terrible it is. So it is not right to say that.
All right, 0700-903-903-903. That's the number for you to call. 0700-903-903-903. And our WhatsApp number is 0700-903-9039. Barrister Joe Nwokedi, I want to ask you this. Tinubu's lawyer argued that his academic records are irrelevant in Nigerian courts, as the Nigerian election proceedings and the Nigerian courts have explicitly been unreceptive to the discovery. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Please, what's your name and location?
Okay, I call back Ikechukwu.
All right, okay, Ikechukwu, you're very clear now. Please go ahead.
What I'm saying is that this I'm talking about is
Ikechukwu, can you use your direct phone? No, don't use your earpiece anymore. Don't use your earpiece.
Can you hear me?
You're using your earpiece, so remove your earpiece and just speak to your phone. Speak normally. Don't use your earpiece. It's fluctuating.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, so go ahead.
I want to put eyes on the strike. They want to go on further. Have those people that wanted to do the strike, have they put something on ground? In order not to affect the common man. Those people, I hope if they do this strike, those that are taking care of the sick ones in the hospital on it. Have they putting something on ground? So, in order to do this strike, I am not pushing them, down not to go on it, but let them put something on ground.
All right. Thank you, Ikechukwu. Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Barrister Joe, in regards to what Ikechukwu is saying, basically talking about the efficacy of the strike action that is to commence in the next 3 days, he's saying that at the end of the day, it's the common man that would suffer. So isn't it important for the government to consider that? At the moment, the federal government is meeting with Labour to have a conversation concerning them not commencing on the strike. The Trade Union Congress and the NLC have decided to go on strike. The president is battling with his certificate situation or dilemma with, CSU. Judge Nancy Maldonado has given an order for all of that document to be released to Atiku Abubakar. So precisely tomorrow. So where does the president stand now? We have a call. Hello? Hello?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Please, what's your name?
My name is Joshua. I'm calling from
You're calling from where? Ogun State. The connection is very poor. Are you calling via WhatsApp? All right, please, Barrister Joe, go ahead.
So, I think the strike is a welcome development.
It's a welcome development?
If it's going to be sincere and it's going to be an avenue to negotiate something better for the masses.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Please, what's your name?
Yeah, it's Nnemeka from Ejigbo.
Nnemeka from Ejigbo. Please go ahead, Nnemeka.
All right. Now,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
63 years old man is a grandfather or is about to be a grandfather. In any way, whether good or bad, I wish every Nigeria happy independence first of all. Make a no mistake for that.
Okay.
Because the country must become the giant what we want it to be. That's one for sure. What I'm saying is this. The image you present to the world, that is what you are. The image you present to the world, that is what you are. If you present a good image, that is who you are. If you present bad image, that is who you are. That is the matter I carry 10 this night. I don't want to waste my time. I will take your time.
Okay.
Let's go to Nigeria and know the kind of people they are sitting as their leader. That's the only thing. Thank you, my dear.
All right, thank you. Professor Joro, please.
So I believe we've seen when we have genuine, activists pushing for strike, that is the most persuasive way of getting a government to listen to the organized organizations.
All right.
Like Labour Congress, TUC.
Well, the question is, you are saying that the Trade Union Congress should actually commence on the strike, but the economic hardship and the toll it's going to take. Hello.
That is part of the solution.
Hello, welcome to the political spotlight. Okay, we've lost that call, please.
I think that's part of the solution. Remember what happened at Ojota in 2012 when Jonathan wanted to, deregulate the downstream sector and remove subsidy and everything. How the deployment of effective strike action.
Hold on, thought.
Protest.
Welcome to the political spotlight. Name and location, please.
Hello?
I can hear you. Name and location. Welcome to the political spotlight.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening. Go ahead, please.
I'm calling to my name is Carlo.
Kalu, location, Kalu.
Like
Kalu, what's your location? What's your location?
They are not really sure in the impact of the war. Because if you think that something like that happens in other side, the president will be given to 4 hours. Calm down. Hello?
I can hear you, Kalu. Continue.
I say what is happening in this time is really the same subject. And the world is happening at all. When you travel with this, I'm coming from state. Hello?
Go ahead. We're hearing you. Okay, I think there's
I think the Labour should clearly define why they want to go on strike.
Okay.
Not just be like for the just fun of it, a frenzy.
No, it's not for the fun of it. They said they sat with the government on several occasions and they've not gotten a feedback.
Yes, they must have articulated their demands and also devise a workable means, an effective means of achieving them, at least to a sizable extent. Not something that they will go for like 3 days and they shut the whole system down, put people in poverty, people in low scale business, POS operators.
Hello, welcome, please.
Hello,
Welcome to the political spotlight. What's your name?
My name is Carlo.
All right, please go ahead, Carlo. You have a minute. We need to round up the program.
I don't know.
You said what?
You should leave their device.
What is
They are
the
close to them.
Are you listening? Are you listening to yourself? Can you mute your radio or something? Completely turn off the audio of your radio so we can hear you well. All right, Barrister Joe, please.
So they should actually itemize what they want.
Okay.
Arrange project in such a way that they'll be attainable, not just to go and punish people, make noise and go back to meetings.
Okay.
If they want to continue with meetings, they should continue with meeting with federal government. If you want to put up a strike as a very effective tool of negotiating something better for the people, good governance, we should bear that temporal, deprivation or hardship within that time frame, and then get something better. Because if you allow a government, especially in Africa, in Nigeria here, to always go on unrestrained or without any a very strong, effective way of telling them that enough is enough, one day they will cross everybody in this country.
All right, thank you. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. You are our final caller on the program. What's your name?
Okay, Odin from Bariga.
All right, Audrey from Bariga.
Yes, given the principle of election petitions, as we have written, given the opportunity to shop for technicalities at all, has the considered.
I can't hear what you're saying. I can't make sense of what you're saying. I sincerely apologize. I think the network is very poor, or it could be the background where you are. I sincerely do apologize, but we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can send your comment in there, and of course that what you want to ask will be responded to. I sincerely do appreciate you calling in. Barrister Evans Ufeli, we need to wrap up the program, and I need your final say. Nigeria is 63 years old. I don't know if Nigeria indeed feels like they're celebrating a birthday. The president is going through his CSU certificate debacle. He hasn't returned to the country, but he gave a live broadcast today, basically trying to assure Nigerians that he understands their plight and the situation they're going through. And at the moment, Nigerians need a miracle. They need something to happen as soon as possible, because the abject poverty in the land is literally, you can taste it. What should Nigeria do?
What Nigeria should do is to ensure that they create a soft landing for the most vulnerable in this society.
Okay.
People are going through a lot of pains. Poverty has increased. In fact, those who were middle class before the removal of the subsidy have joined the poverty net. So the poverty net is widened, and that is why you have pilferage and all kinds of crime across society, because the level of poverty is so widened now, and it is almost getting unbearable. So the government should do something very critical. That is why there was no need to remove subsidy. I am a strong advocate of subsidy. As long as government have refused to fix the refineries, they should continue to pay subsidy, because all over the world subsidy is paid. Is either on fuel or anything. In America it's on food. There is subsidy. That is why they say that the security and welfare of the people is the prime purpose of government. But our government in Nigeria don't want to take any responsibility. They want them people to fend for themselves, provide power for themselves, provide water, provide light, provide everything for themselves. Nothing. Government have no contribution to the life of the citizens. That is why people are finding things difficult. If we can have a government that will take the most vulnerable into fix health care, fix our primary and secondary schools, make them of standard so that we don't spend money. Provide housing, provide facilities. What does it cost to do that? In this same country, we did this in the past in this same country. They provided housing, they provided all those things. So this thing must be done. It's not to take money and be given to governors. In one of the states now, in Ondo State, there's an allegation now that the money that was just handed over that the deputy governor is using for, it's an allegation. But that is the consequences of not knowing what you are doing.
Nigeria is the only country where somebody will be a tenant for 30 years.
30 years.
You have no.
And that money is blown away. And that 30 years is blown away.
Blown away. If you don't pay within 1 year, landlord will
you'll be evicted the next day.
30 years.
Of course, you would have used that funds to acquire that property in a long time.
In a long time, under mortgage. And pay for like 20 years. Becomes
so
yours.
We have a wrong system.
And that's why one day I use an excuse that my client is sick and has a BP or whatever. The judge at Federal High Court looked at me, said, do you know how many percentage of Nigerians going through BP? Said me, I will tell you, I have one. I know you may have one. 70% of people above 50 years have BPs in Nigeria. Is that a good record? A judge told me, said don't use that as an excuse, that 70% of Nigerian people above 50 years are suffering from BP. Well, the way somebody will be a tenant for 30 years, you're not part of the
Thank you so much.
People should stop trusting what legal team of candidates is saying. Legal teams are not judges, please. They have the right to say whatever they want. They have the right to also gamble things. And they're saying that whatever they say is not law. Whatever a lawyer says is not law. It is their own view or their own opinion or what they want
Or
the court to do
arguments.
for them arguments.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister John Wokedi. Thank you so much, Barrister Evans Ufemi.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, we've come to a wrap up of the program, but I want to leave you with a question which I think you should think about. Nigeria is 63 years old, and we still have the same challenges we have been having from time immemorial.
We have more, not the same.
More has commenced.
More.
We have an administration that promised to provide succor and relief to Nigerians. Are Nigerians earmarking these policies that the president said he was going to make and make sure that the lives of Nigerians get better? Are we beginning to see at least a little bit of this succor? Are we seeing, are we feeling it? How long will Nigerians keep mum and see when things will get better for themselves? As we try to wrap our head around Nigeria's 63 years of age, or 63 years that they have gotten or gained their independence, you as a Nigerian, in what way have you tried to help anybody around you, at least just to provide that ease or that succor? While we await, or rather hope that the government wakes up and considers the people as a priority because they serve the people, until then, will the common man languish? Will the judiciary represent the common man? Will they continue to be arm-twisted by the executive? Will we continue to see separation of powers and checks and balances? It is until these primary institutions get things right that Nigeria itself can grow and develop and possibly understand what it is to be independent. Nigeria is 63 years. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. This is a wrap-up of the program, The Political Spotlight. You can follow me on social media at Esther Nwaz on Instagram, Esther Nwachukwu on Twitter, Esther Nwachukwu on Facebook. Barrister Joe?
John Wokedi at all platforms.
Barrister Evans?
Evans Ufemi at all platforms.
All right, there you have it. Have yourselves a wonderful holiday.